We're going to call the September 22nd board meeting to order. Can we please stand for our Pledge of Allegiance, please? Ms. Bales?
Well, hello. Thank you, Mr. President. The district has not received any requests for citizens' participation per board policy BDDH.
Excellent, thank you. At this time, if I can get the military liaison update, please.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to the Board of Education, Waynesville's leadership team, as well as the community. And the information I have for you is we appreciate Waynesville's participation in the Partners in Education August meeting. The collaborative efforts between units and Waynesville schools are celebrated for their meaningful contributions and the positive lasting impact they create within the community. The upcoming PI meeting is scheduled for the 18th of November, and that information is being shared with appropriate personnel. We appreciated the opportunity to share the military culture course and the Purple Star training with Waynesville's new staff during their orientation. The official logo for the school website has been shared, and hopefully you can wear that very proudly. It's well earned. So again, thank you for the opportunity to share the information from Fort Leonard Wood to the Waynesville school community.
Thank you so very much, and we appreciate your participation. At this time, the district announcements, please, Ms. Bales.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I'd like to start by welcoming staff from Perimeter and Tiger Learning Center. We're happy to have you with us this evening, and we look forward to hearing more about your schools later in the meeting. This week is the Love of Reading Week, September 22nd through 26th, so we're celebrating the love of reading this week and have a lot of activities going around throughout our buildings. Also, Showcase Waynesville Schools will be held Thursday, October 2nd at the high school. Admission is free this year. From 5 to 6 p.m., guests will view artwork and students will demonstrate their artistic and robotic skills. From 6 to 7, all guests will be invited to the WHS Auditorium to watch talented Waynesville R6 students perform dance, musical, and choral numbers on stage. Wall of Leader inductees will be introduced via video. And then at 7:30, close friends and family members are invited to stay for the formal induction ceremony into the Wall of Leaders of Janice Dye and the late Dr. Ogden DeWitt as Lifetime Achievement, and alumni, the late Sadie Navarre as Outstanding Educational Professional. And then lastly, just want to mention that Friday, October 3rd will be homecoming. The theme this year is Deep Sea Roar, and we'll have early dismissal on those days. Students in grades 6 through 12 will dismiss at 12 o'clock p.m., and students in grades K through 5 will dismiss at 1 o'clock p.m. The parade begins at 2:30. Please don't forget your Walmart bags to capture all the candy that will be thrown during that event. And then that evening, the Chamber of Commerce Community Pride Night will be held beginning at 4:30 at the high school. At 6 o'clock, the high school students who have earned a 3 or higher on their spring 2025 AP exams will receive their checks on the Tiger track stadium, in the stadium, and the homecoming court coronation will begin at 6:25, and then the football game will start promptly at 7. So October 3rd is a night full of events, and look forward to seeing all the community out there. Thank you, sir.
Awesome, and definitely looking forward to the beautiful floats that will be presented, and if we can keep Dr. Goforth from throwing too much candy, we will be all right. Motion to approve the consent agenda, please. Awesome. All righty. At this time, student recognition, please, Mrs. Long.
Thank you. At this time, it is my pleasure to recognize and celebrate Brandon Bullard. Brandon, if you can come forward. Brandon's a freshman at Waynesville High School this year, and he earned second place and a $750 prize as an 8th grader last year in the inaugural Missouri Civics Bee, which was held this past August at the State Historical Society of Missouri. Brandon, we are so proud of you, and as a district, we'd like to recognize your hard work and your success. Congratulations.
Excellent work and congratulations. Spotlight on Education, Perimeter Center, please.
Our spotlight on education, our certified staff, Ms. Miller. So if you could come up, please. So, Mrs. Miller is a dedicated professional who consistently demonstrates a strong commitment to student success. She works closely with some of our most challenging students, providing the support and guidance they need to achieve both academic and personal growth. Known for her sense of humor and straightforward honesty, she builds meaningful connections with students and colleagues alike, fostering both trust and respect. She is a true team player, always willing to assist her colleagues and contribute to the overall success at Perimeter Education Center. She goes above and beyond to ensure her students are well prepared for major assessments and equipped for success in their future coursework. Her professionalism and dedication exemplify the highest standards of excellence in education. You're welcome. Thank you. Nice job. And then our classified spotlight, Miss Lacey Holder. Lacey is a paraprofessional in one of our classrooms. She is an essential part of our school community. She consistently builds strong and positive relationships with not only the students in her classroom, but in the other classes as well. She is always willing to step in and help whenever, wherever she is needed, demonstrating flexibility and teamwork on a daily basis. Her commitment goes above and beyond, both in and out of the classroom, ensuring that students have the support they need to be successful. Thank you, Lacey. And then my entire team. Our building is home to an amazing group of educators who have come together from diverse backgrounds to form a true educational family. They collaborate, share ideas, and even disagree at times, but their focus always remains on what is best for students. Together, they have developed impactful programs that meet a wide range of student needs, including an after-school program to support struggling learners, a leadership program to empower students as role models, and a credit recovery program to help students get back on track. Their teamwork and dedication reflect a shared commitment to student success. So to my amazing team, thank you.
Congratulations, guys. Let's give them another hand. At this time, we'll go into staff recognition. Mrs. Stephanie Peace, please.
Stephanie Peace, if you'll come on up. Tonight, we're pleased to announce that Stephanie Peace has been selected to serve as a Missouri Transition Liaison for the 25-26 school year, awarded by our Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, otherwise known as DESE. This role is part of a statewide initiative to strengthen post-secondary transition services for students with disabilities. As part of her responsibilities, Ms. Peace will receive specialized professional development, collaborate with regional and district staff, and support the 2026 Missouri Transition Training Institute. Her work will help enhance transition planning and services throughout our district. We're proud of Ms. Peace's continued leadership in this important area of special education and look forward to the positive impact her work will have on our students and community. Thank you, Mrs. Peace.
Congratulations, Mrs. Peace. If I may back up, if I may, please, on Spotlight of Education, if we can spotlight the Tiger Learning Center, please.
Good evening. Good evening. Tonight I get to recognize two of our staff members from the Tiger Learning Center as well as our whole group, PLC group. For the Tiger Learning Center, our certified staff member for our Spotlight on Education is Mr. Chris Kramer. Mr. Kramer brings enthusiasm and fosters an inviting and positive atmosphere in his classroom. Mr. Kramer develops positive relationships with students and uses effective strategies to help students reach their goals. Mr. Kramer also steps into leadership roles, which includes our building PLC facilitator and district committees. Thank you, Mr. Kramer, for all you do for our building. Next, for our classified staff member, Dr. Michael Hawkins. Dr. Hawkins is in his second year here at the Tiger Learning Center as a paraprofessional. Dr. Hawkins is always willing to step up to any task that is asked of him. This can be anything from getting lunches, supervising students, or providing academic support for our students. Dr. Hawkins has been a great asset to our school community. Thank you, Dr. Hawkins, for all you do for our school. Lastly, I'd like to recognize our whole group PLC team and our staff at the Tiger Learning Center for their dedication to student success. Every week this team meets and discusses our students one by one to develop individual plans to benefit our students. They all focus on building positive relationships with each of our students and understand what each individual student needs and how to make them successful. Thank you for all you do for our community.
All right, back on track. Staff recognition, please. Transportation Employee of the Month.
Good evening. I have the privilege tonight to introduce our September Employee of the Month, Ms. Pamela Pierce. She's been working with us for about 9 years, been a bus aide. Thing I'd just like to mention is when we choose an Employee of the Month, it's not just somebody that comes to work, does their job, but they make a difference. And I can honestly say, for those that don't know Pam, she is the light of our department. She's always positive. I can't think of one time where she said something or spouted back off at somebody. She's always got a great attitude. She makes coming to work fun. Her office is completely pink, so if you ever go up there and visit her, it's like Pepto-Bismol in there, but anyway, I'm sorry. But I appreciate everything she does. She's got the right attitude. She cares about our employees and the kids, and just one more shout out. I got the privilege of working with her mom, Linda Nix, who worked for us for quite a few years too. So the apple don't fall far from the tree. So thank you, Pam, for choosing transportation to make a difference in children's lives.
Mr. Tronstad, could you come up back here for a minute? Mr. President, if I may, I'd like to recognize Mr. Tronstad. I'm going to read the certificate, and then I'll say a few words about him. Mr. Tronstad, this is in recognition of your outstanding leadership, dedication, and commitment to ensuring the safe and reliable transportation of our students. Your contributions exemplify excellence and service, and we gratefully acknowledge the vital role you play in supporting student success. And when I think about Aaron, what I think is gratitude. He has gratitude for his job. He's grateful for the people that he works with. And not only does he have those feelings, but he shares those feelings with others, always building people up, sending positive notes. Everybody who's here in this audience has probably received one from him. And our transportation had the smoothest start we've had, I think, since I've been here for 25 years. And that is a direct reflection of his leadership and building up those who serve underneath and around him. So, Mr. Tronstad, thank you for choosing transportation to make a difference in students' lives.
Congratulations. At this time, we'll go into community recognition. Mrs. Goforth, go forth.
Thank you, Mr. President. This evening, the district would like to recognize the individuals that completed the JROTC obstacle course. When I call your name, please come forward to accept your certificate. Kayala Bennett, James Bishop, Derek Chopa, William Volker, and Matthew Jordan.
At this time, can we give them a hand clap, please? Next, we have for our discussion items, construction update, Mr. Harrison.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm excited to give an update tonight on our active construction projects, which is Liberty Elementary and our high school HVAC project. So jumping in here to the first slide. So this is a picture, went down and took some aerial photos. These are from last week from Liberty Elementary site. The site is progressing on a daily basis now. It's changing a lot. Now they're kind of in construction mode, moved from excavating kind of into construction mode. So this picture here is from the east looking west. It's kind of a shot of the entire campus. You can really see everything start to take shape. The retaining walls and the driveways kind of down there in that area. And then also there, I've got some pictures that zoom in a little bit closer to the actual building site here in just a second, but you can really see the building site taking shape as well. This picture here is kind of a little bit closer from the east looking west, kind of shows the retaining walls progressing. And then, eventually there's going to be a driveway going up. There will be the bus entrance there, up there kind of in the middle of the picture where you see that dirt being kind of pushed away from the retaining wall there. Next slide, please. This one here is a kind of overview shot of the actual building site. You can see footers starting to go in there, kind of more towards the bottom of the picture. Those will be the common areas, such as the office area, gym, cafeteria, kitchen. And then they're more towards the top of the picture. That'll be the classroom wings where we'll have the first and second floor Next picture, please. This one is kind of a more of a zoomed-in picture on the actual classroom wing. You can see where they've got that square dug out in the middle. That's going to be where the elevator shaft is going to go, so they're starting work on that. Next picture. This one is zoomed in on the actual kind of common area site where you'll come in the front of the building there. You can see the footers going in. The big footers over on the left side, that's where we're building the ICC 500, which is a big storm shelter, basically. It'll be the same rating as a FEMA shelter, which is the ICC 500 rating. So you can really see all those buildings starting to take shape there. Next picture, please. This picture here is kind of from the west side looking east. You can see the entrance there coming up. This will be the area where the parents will loop around and come back out of, getting ready to go back out on T Highway. This entrance is pretty much done except for the railing that needs to go in place, and then also they'll have to come in, of course, and pave it. But other than that, it's 2 grade and everything is really taking shape there. Next photo, please. And so kind of overall schedule still, just kind of show where we're at with everything. Blasting is 100% complete. Around October of 2025, which is going to be here in the next few weeks, the material haul off and the finished grade will be complete. And then around November of 25, you'll start seeing some actual structures going up. We should start being able to see, as you're driving down the road, you should be able to look up there and see some actual building come up out of the ground, so that'll be exciting. And then around February of 26, we should have all the retaining walls complete, and then still looking for the substantial completion date of the entire project around March of 2027. High school HVAC project. This project is substantially complete. There are a few warranty items that have come up, some compressors and things like that they've found some issues with, and so TMI has been great to work with on that. These are all warranty items that they are working on resolving right now. So other than just some few minor warranty items and some punch list items, this project is done, and just some minor tweaking, and we do still have some testing and balancing, some things that will kind of put the final touches on the system. But we're almost there completed with this project. So excited to be able to, I think whenever I come back to you next month, we're going to put the final stamp and say it's ready to go and doing what we want to do. So excited to do that. And with that, I'll answer any questions you may have.
All right, any questions for Mr. Harrison, please?
Just a comment and a couple of questions, Mr. Harrison. I'm sorry
Sure.
to put you on the
Okay.
spot. First of all, thank you for providing the aerial view. That really shows all the work that's being done up there. If you're just driving past, you don't see all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes.
Right.
But there's a couple questions I get asked consistently, and I just thought maybe this would be a good opportunity for you to speak to them. The first one is, why do we need to build a new school? So if you wouldn't mind just speaking to that.
Sure. Yeah, well, if you look at Freedom and East Elementary, our 2 elementary schools off post, I mean, they are 2 of the largest elementary schools in the state of Missouri. The last time I ran numbers, I think Freedom was number 4 and East was number 6, I believe, of the largest elementary schools in the state of Missouri, and that's out of 1,200 plus elementary schools in the state of Missouri. So whenever you start looking at the size of those 2 elementary schools and the logistics and everything that it takes to have an elementary school that big, that's really the reason why the average elementary school in the state of Missouri is more around 400 to 500 kids. And so that's one big need, is by building Liberty Elementary, we will be able to shift students down and reduce the numbers at both Freedom and East. And then another thing is, during Proposition 2 back in 2024, one of the things that we promised we would fulfill with the passage of that is opening up more pre-K opportunities. And so by opening up Liberty Elementary, we'll have more pre-K opportunities there, and that opening up the space at Freedom and East will also allow us to offer some pre-K opportunities at Freedom and East as well. So those are the 2 big factors, is reducing numbers in the number 4th and the number 6th largest elementary schools in the state of Missouri, and offering preschool opportunities across the community.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And that'll speak to some of the items I'm going to cover in my enrollment update. Another question I get asked quite frequently, and we've kind of laughed about this, is where is the dirt going and what is happening with all the dirt? Can you tell the community a little bit about what's happening with the dirt and where is it going and who we're giving it to?
Sure. The district is not actually giving dirt to anyone. That's part of the contract with Bloomsdale Excavating, and so as part of that contract, they are required to figure out spaces to put the dirt, and so we had nothing to do with any arrangements or anything like that. Part of what they were required to do when we signed the contract with them is they started going out and talking to community members, and I know there's multiple places across the community that they've been working with and doing that, but the district does not have any direct relationships. We have not given away any dirt. It's all through the contract with Bloomsdale Excavating.
Thank you. And then lastly, this is the most recent one. That a portion of the wall fell down. Can you speak to that? And I shared that, I had heard that and asked some questions, but can you just share with the community about that?
Sure. So as they're building these retaining walls, there's a person on site every day, all day long from Terracon, and their job is to inspect all of the soils and everything across the entire site. And so as they're building the retaining walls, they go up and stack dirt 3 or 4 layers high, and there's this mesh stuff they put on there. They compact that, and then Terracon comes back and tests that before they go up to the next layer. They're there every day inspecting all this stuff. And so as they're going through and finding any minor little shifts or tweaks in the walls or the compaction or anything like that, then that is reported. And we have had some things where they've had to kind of go back and make some minor adjustments, but everything that has been presented and brought up from that aspect has been identified and fully rectified and taken care of.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Harrison, please? Oh, you finished, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
I thought maybe you. All righty, at this time, early childhood development, Mr. Henderson, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tonight I get to speak about our early childhood program and give you an update. The most important thing I'm going to tell you is we are growing. How exciting is that? And we are keeping our promise, as Mr. Harrison alluded to with Prop 2. And one of the things we told them is that we want to expand our pre-K. And that's exactly what we're doing, being part of this process and watching us grow. We had Williams and Parker already in place, but adding Freedom and adding Pick has been so much fun, just watching that and expanding that program. Next slide, please. So with our early childhood, our goal is to build a firm foundation in our students for a loving to learn and to be successful in school. So our goal is to make these kids kindergarten ready. And if we were looking currently, we currently have around 264 4-year-olds enrolled in our pre-K program. If you were looking at our current kindergarten enrollment, there's around 456 kindergartners. That says that we're going to have about 58%, if they stick, of our students coming into kindergarten being kindergarten ready. If kindergarten teachers are watching right now, they're probably celebrating. That's awesome that we have expanded it that much. We went from like 40% to 58%. The curriculum that's being used is called the ELK curriculum, Emerging Language and Literacy Curriculum. It's research-based, comprehensive curriculum for preschoolers. It builds a strong foundational skills in oral language and literacy. It's theme-based around children's literature, multi-sensory, and play-based activities. Next slide, please. So let's talk about Williams. Williams provides services to students between the ages of 3 and 4 years old. It is a half-day program. They have AM and PM classes. At Williams, we have our PACE program and our Early Childhood Special Education, or ECSE programs. Students at Williams, they go through a screening process and or a special education evaluation before being placed. Currently at Williams, there is a wait list for 3-year-olds. The wait list is at around 63 the last time I checked, but their 4-year-old wait list is 0. There's no one on that wait list. So the building demographics, they are led by Dr. Melinda Mitchell. Enrollment is around 249 students. 105 of those are 3-year-olds, with 144 being 4-year-olds. They have 15 teachers on staff, 19 paras. Then they also have around 17 support staff. Williams houses our DAT team, which is our district assessment team, the process coordinator, our occupational therapist, our physical therapist, our speech learning pathologists are also there, amongst other support staff. Next slide, please. Williams also is the home to Parents as Teachers. And Parents as Teachers is a 12-month home visiting program that focuses on child development, development of centered Developmental-centered parenting and family well-being. The program has 2 parents and teachers, educators there. The ages that they serve is all prenatal to 3 years old, and they have some 3 to 5-year-olds as well. Right now, they are serving 52 families, which equates to around 70 students that our parents as teachers is working with. They also do a fantastic job of working with different agencies within the community. They work with Missouri First Steps, MOCA, Head Start, Genesis House, Free Women's Center, Nurses for Newborns, Waynesville Library, and Kids Harbor. Our parents as teachers also offer a weekly play groups at our Waynesville Library through the months of September to May. Next slide, please. So we're gonna get into our full day pre-Ks right now. They provide services only to 4-year-olds. It's only a 4-year-olds attend, full day program. Students are selected through a lottery process. And if you remember, back before, well, like 5 months ago, we just had Parker. And then I came to you, provided an update, and we talked about how we had around 100 kids on our wait list. And as we talked through that and worked with you, you so graciously allowed us to open up additional pre-K, which took that wait list down to nothing, okay? But what happened is, as we were calling those people on the wait list, some were PCSing, some couldn't make the times work, or there was something that came up that they just couldn't make it work for them. So that left around 15 slots open. So I opened another lottery. Well, when I opened that other lottery, I thought, well, we got most of them on the first round. That wasn't the case. We had about 70 more people apply for that second lottery. We have them filled. We were able to fill those slots, but our current wait list right now is at 41 students that are looking for a full day program. Demographics, Miss Christina Pritchard, she is the principal that oversees our full day programs. The enrollment, there's 40 students or 20 per class at each site, and we have 2 classes at each site. 2 teachers, 2 paraprofessionals, and support staff. Everyone within the building or at building within close proximity is lending a hand. So with that being said, because if you look at PIC, it's out there, it has 2 teachers, 2 paras. Here at Parker, 2 teachers, 2 paras. So I'd like to thank publicly here Mr. Dunning and Mr. Snicker. They provide paras for us. Some mornings, we ask for a para, like for Wednesday mornings, can we have a para for 15 minutes to help us with arrival, because our teachers are at PLC. They are so graciously offering, always willing to help. And then Dr. Mitchell at Williams, she graciously sends paras down there to help with lunches. So it's a team effort. Everyone is lending a hand here and making this work, and it's been great. Next slide, please. And then Freedom doesn't need that support because it's built in with it being inside the building. There's already paras there that can help. Professional learning communities, I want to bring that up because every Wednesday morning, that's when our teachers come together, time for them to collaborate with one another on student learning. And our early childhood teachers, they come together and they talk about the MELS, or the Missouri Early Learning Standards. Williams, when they meet, they've always been able to meet as a large group. They have 2 groups of 3-year-old teachers with 5 to 6 to 7 teachers in each group that get to meet and collaborate with one another. They also have the same with their 4-year-old teachers. Prior to this year, Parker primarily met by themselves with 2 teachers. So they didn't really have that opportunity to truly collaborate with a team. Now that we've expanded our full day pre-K programs, they are able to meet as a team of 6. Every Wednesday morning, our Parker teachers and our PIC teachers go to Freedom and meet with Freedom teachers. And so those 6 are able to come together, and what that has done, that's allowed for richer conversations on learning in general. And just feedback from the Parker teachers, Ms. Snyder and Ms. Cobb, they both love it because that's something that they had not had until this year. So PLCs, we gotta remember, they're just not about student learning, but they're also about adult learning, where those teachers can learn from each other as well. Next slide, please. So Start Early Literacy. Each year before school, or at the beginning of the school year, our kindergarten students take the Start Early Literacy test. And so what I put here in this graphic is the percentage of students who are considered at risk for reading. And we just finished up our STAR window for the 25-26, so I didn't have the data, so I went back and looked at our 24-25 data. And you can see here, those students that had no pre-K whatsoever, 23.9% of them were at risk for reading challenges, okay? If they were in a half-day program, that went down to 15.2%, and those who were in the full-day program, only 8.1% were at risk. So that right there shows a need for being kindergarten ready. Next slide. I just wanted to share a few pictures here of what I saw at Williams when I went out there. I have to admit that middle picture there, if I was looking in a mirror when I was 3 years old, that is Mike right there. That young man and I, we are buddies. That is, I'm not going to say his name, but I know his name because when I go out there, I want to talk to him all the time because him and I are kindred spirits. But Williams is just a joyful place. If you've ever been there, it's just fun. If you ever need a smile or just need to pick me up, go to Williams. It will do that for you. Next slide. So this is some of, excuse me, some of the learning that's also going on in our full day. So these are pictures from Freedom, Parker, and Pick. My favorite picture here is that top middle, that young lady. There's a reading corner. Now, mind you, she's 4 years old, and she's sitting there on that beanbag with that book. She had no idea that Mr. Henson was there just watching her. I was just like, wow. And so I took that picture. She still doesn't know I took that picture. But I was like, this is amazing. She was sitting there, and she was just engulfed in that book and didn't care what was going on around her. So that was pretty awesome. Next slide, please. So what's going to be some of our next steps for our full-day programs? And this is from me talking with parents. I've talked to a lot of parents throughout this process, whether it be on the phone, whether it be in meetings, whether it be the ladies in my office talking to them and giving me feedback. But we need to consider adjusting the start-end time to align with elementary start-end time. Right now, early childhood, pre-K, they start at 8:05, where our regular school started at 8:30. We need to adjust that time. The end times for them, they get out also at 3:05, I believe, where we don't get out till 3:30. Why is that important? That doesn't work well with everyone's schedule. And as I said, as we were going through that wait list, some people were not able to make it work. This is one of the reasons why they were not able to make it work. But also, a big thing that I hear from parents is, do you offer transportation? That is a big thing as far as pre-K. If we can get those times aligned and be able to offer transportation, I think that is going to work out so much better for our families. But then we also, I hear, what do you offer after-school care? And you know, we have after-school care in the WIN program. We might research, what would that look like? Is there a way to make that work? But I think, considering the start in time and considering the transportation are two big things I think would help our families out. And then also we could research what that after-school care would look like. At Williams, reflect on current structure. What would a couple full-day, 4-year-old classrooms look like at William? And we've talked with Dr. Mitchell about this, and she's going to work with her steering team and work with them and talk to her teachers and get some input from them. Potentially, what would a couple full-day look like there? And then maybe how can we support the 3-year-old wait list? I understand some of those on the 3-year-old wait list, they're still waiting. Maybe they're not potty trained yet, and that's why they're still on the list. But those that are, and they're on that wait list, is there a way for us to help support those families? Then as a district, we need to continue fulfilling Prop 2 promise of expanding pre-K opportunities. We're doing that, and that's exciting. And when Mr. Harrison talked, Liberty, that's just going to expand it even more in our buildings, and so that's an exciting thing we have coming upon us. Reflect upon what next year's pre-K lottery will look like. Going into this year's lottery, all we had was Parker. Then all of a sudden we added Pick and Freedom. So the lottery, maybe we can make some adjustments to that. Now that we know we have the locations here, maybe we have a lottery for St. Robert. Maybe we have a lottery for Waynesville. Maybe we have one for Fort Wood, based off of demographics where people live. Just reflect upon that and look at that. And then continue to prepare for the opening of Liberty Elementary. Next slide. Are there any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Henson? Awesome. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Mrs. Sloan.
Good evening, Mr. President. Mr. Henson and I have the pleasure of sharing our preliminary MAP and EOC results from last spring, the spring of 2025, and the results from the Missouri Assessment Program and the EOCs. Just as a reminder, EOCs are end-of-course exams, and they are offered at the conclusion of a specific course whenever a student completes the course. The first EOC is actually our one course that is offered in 2 different buildings, and obviously this Waynesville's score is in orange, and you'll see the state then in blue in all of these. This is obviously the trajectory we want to see on all of our scores, and we were so pleased to see the growth in both district performance and resulting in results above the state average in Algebra 1 for last year. Specifically want to say congratulations to 8th grade Algebra 1, who themselves saw a significant improvement to 91.7% proficient and advanced on the EOC last year. So that was some really great growth that we're really, we're working on focusing to maintain and continue that trajectory. In Algebra 2, you'll see some consistent scores. They do remain below state average. The building is working, going through. Algebra 2 is a little bit of a unique EOC because not every student who takes that course takes that test. It is required for some, all students that took the Algebra 1 course in 8th grade have to take it, but then there's a couple other reasons why a student might need to take a math EOC in high school. So the high school admin team, I know Mr. Vernon has been working specifically with Algebra 2, identifying early on, knowing right now which students that are in that course will need to be tested, and so making sure that the teachers are aware of that, the students are aware of that, and having a more strategic plan to be sure that we are, one, testing the students that need to be tested, and supporting those students and making sure that we're covering the standards that need to be covered within that class. For English language arts in grade 2, we saw a small decline. These, the next, actually all of the EOC areas at the high school, they put in some support plans for this upcoming year, including the use of a common plan time, which means all the teachers that teach English 10 have the same planning time during the day, which allows them to have additional collaboration time. They've been, at the start of the year, they've used a lot of that time and time even before school started, digging through their results from last year, looking at what standards maybe need to be highlighted and given more focus in the future, where we're struggling and what supports are needed there. They're also working on, in addition to common plan time, some specific interventions for students that might be struggling in these courses. Our biology test is the high school EOC, the science test, and unfortunately we did see a decline in our district performance last year. They also are working on breaking down those standards performance to make some necessary adjustments. I will also say this work on reviewing standards, reviewing the rigor at which they're taught, doesn't just fall on those course teachers. For example, for English 10, the English 9 teachers are looking at it as well, because those standards, the students need to be prepared whenever, over that whole entire 2-year period as they build upon each other. The same for science, and we did some significant work adding rigor into Science 9 last year that hopefully in the future will also help support some of our biology scores as well. And our final EOC is our government one. Again, unfortunately, we did see a decline in district performance, remaining just slightly above state average. Again, utilizing the time with those that those teachers have in common plan time to plan together to look at specific focus standards that we've identified that need to make sure that they're being taught, they're retaught, the students are giving interventions in those standards if they're not supporting it, and that the teachers and the students have the resources and support they need.
Okay, so now we will go into the MAP testing. We will first talk about math. Okay, so the first is third grade math, and before we talk about math, we did adopt a new textbook series last school year. Our teachers they committed to doing that textbook with fidelity. It also had a learning platform with it called Success Maker that helped intervene where needed, and teachers were very good at using that to provide that support to students who needed that help. And I think that will show in our results here as you look. At the third grade math, as a district, we saw an increase by about 7%, and we're within 3% of our 2022 high. Once again, that blue line is state overall, and that orange is where we're at as a district. In fourth grade math, maybe, there we go. Fourth grade math, fourth grade grades saw an 8% increase as well, and are well above the overall state average. Next slide, please. Then fifth grade. Our fifth grade, as you can see, every year they continue to grow, and that's our goal, is to grow students. You know, we love it when a certain percentage is proficient in advanced, but we really love it when we're growing students. And you can see here, fifth grade is just on that upward trend every year, continuously growing students, and they continue to trend up, and they are 13% higher than the overall state average.
Sixth grade math saw a slight growth in district performance and maintained their scores above state average as well. Seventh grade math, again, one of our big celebrations from last year. They too adopted new resources, and Mr. Henson mentioned really implemented with fidelity, did some really hard work there to work to increase in student performance. Over 10% increase in student performance, and to go above the state average in seventh grade math. We also saw a great growth in eighth grade math in our district performance from the year before. And I can't say enough about the hard work that our math teachers did. They knew that they needed to increase the rigor in their classrooms. The teachers were committed to that. They followed the plan with fidelity. They worked hard, and they knew that their students were going to work hard. So then they provided the students with the support they needed to do that work that then paid off in their performance. We're really excited about the future of these math students as they continue to progress. And actually some of our middle school teachers, you know, the seventh graders that experienced that rigor and those expectations were raised for them last year, and they were able to show that they could meet them, now being eighth graders. And the eighth graders going on to their freshman year, and teachers have shared that with each other about, no, they're used to working hard. They know how to show their work. They know exactly what's expected. They know that they need to prove their answers every time that they do the work. And we're just really excited about that whole culture within the math department, and it growing as the students progress through the years.
So next we will talk about MAP, the English Language Arts portion of it. So for third grade ELA, we bounced back. You can see that in 2023, we had a slight decline, but in 2025, we bounced back nicely with about 11% increase in students who are proficient in advance, and that's also about 2% higher than our 2022 high. Part of this is we became laser focused in on standards that we knew that students truly struggled with, and we put a plan in place. We worked heavily with our building administrators. They worked with their steering teams. Their steering teams took it to PLCs, and we just worked hard, our teachers did, in seeing this type of growth. ELA fourth grade, you can see last year, we actually dipped below the state overall. We don't like that. That's not acceptable. So this current year, you can see where we jumped back up. We had a 6% increase. And they're back over the overall state average once again. And then in fifth grade, our fifth grade team, if you remember in math, we saw great gains there. Our fifth grade team did wonderful last year, even in ELA. They saw a significant increase, and they're well above the state average.
Thank you. Sixth grade ELA, we're excited to see growth in this grade level, and again, that they are performing, above state average. They rose back up there. Seventh grade ELA, their performance remained consistent and well above state average. We are monitoring for areas of growth because, of course, we want to see continued growth from our students. And eighth grade ELA had a slight improvement from the prior year. They do remain below the state average, so this is an area of focus for us and remains a growth area. The building team, it is a different team of teachers this year in eighth grade ELA have worked again to review those focus, see which areas need more, which standards need more focus as they progress throughout the new year. And finally, science.
Okay, so fifth grade science, this is an area of growth for us at the elementary level. You've seen the past 2 years, we have a slight decrease those 2 years. We are digging into this with our instructional coaches and our admin team. Part of the things that we need to work on here, we've been so laser focused in on math in ELA. Sometimes science gets pushed to the side, and we got to work on that. And so, but also, this cannot be left just on our fifth grade team, because the science standards that are taught on the fifth grade science map test are standards from third grade, fourth grade, and fifth grade. So we have to work with our team, our intermediate team of third, fourth, and fifth grade, along with our coaches, and develop a good plan in getting that science back where it needs to be.
And finally, in science in eighth grade, you'll see an impressive improvement in scores, over 14% improvement, and again, back above state average. In eighth grade, this team did some great work last year, looking back and reviewing what had happened potentially the prior year, addressing deficiencies from that prior year, and working to regain that score and that traction. Again, science eighth, just like Mr. Henson said for the fifth grade one, tests over 6th, 7th, and 8th grade standards. So that's always really important to remember that they are testing in 8th grade, but it demonstrates the knowledge that they've learned over 3 years in science. Additional data that we have from these tests, we shared the overall data tonight, but we have overall data and then data also pulled by test item and by standard, which, multiple items might test one standard. As soon as we receive that, our administrators, our building principals have been doing work with that. Immediately, they go in and they start reviewing that, and they make plans off of it. Our teacher teams review the same data and information. They're able to look at their own and their teams and identify, again, those areas that they might need to focus on for the following year. And our focus standards, like Mr. Henson had mentioned that. We did that last year. We looked and we saw which standards are we scoring traditionally low on, maybe over multiple years. Are there any that historically we're showing some struggles with, and making plans to address those. Well, as soon as these came in, we said, how'd we do on those focus standards? And if we didn't see improvement, okay, what's happening? Now, one fun thing is the state can change the test. Standards can be, tested a little bit heavier one year than the next. So sometimes we put a lot of effort into a focus standard, and it's maybe not even tested the following year, or it's worth very few points. But still, the kids learn that standard, and that's the most important part. And then also, data is available by subgroup. We have pulled it by students with an IEP, ELL, gifted, and by ethnicity. For our overall district, we're able to compare it with how we've done in the district and the state, share that information with Dr. Washington and her team. Her teams of teachers are looking to see how some of those support areas can address any gaps or deficiencies that those students are showing in standard performance as well.
I do have one more thing. One more thing here. My elementary principals will get me if I don't say this. But something else we did last year was testlets. So the state offered these called testlets. They're just little mini map tests, but they're based on one standard and one standard only. It offers all the different question types. So we were focused in as as one of our teams finished a standard, they would go in and they would allow their kids to do testlets. Now, we were able to get those results within 24 hours. How powerful is that? We could take that information that we received from that testlet and then go on and do little mini lessons where needed, or divide kids into different RTI groups in order to build upon where they lack knowledge or need more support. Any questions for Mrs. Long or myself?
We had testlets in 6th through 8th grade,
I'm sorry.
and we will get them for EOCs the Monday before Thanksgiving. The state has promised they will be released for EOCs then too. So we also have testlets, and we're very, very excited about getting them for the high school.
No question. Just want to thank our teachers, building leaders, and our students for the hard work that they've demonstrated to make these gains. That's significant, definitely trending in a positive direction, and just kudos to everyone.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you, guys. And once again, hats off to the teachers. I know that's a lot of hard work, but they've been seeing the results of it, so good job. Next on the list is Mrs. Bell's 2024-25 enrollment.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's my honor to provide you with a brief update regarding our enrollment trends this school year compared to last, or actually over the last couple years. So the good news is that first star that you see that's yellow there is overall our district enrollment, which is up 31 students from where we started last school year. And this is without preschool. And if you look way at the top, it's a blue or green, depending upon how your eyes work, star. That's including pre-K. And so that would put us up around in the positive of 253 additional students. So our enrollment numbers right now are trending upwards. We weren't sure what to expect this year when we started, knowing that the fifth engineers have started to sprinkle out of the school district. However, at this time, it doesn't appear to have any adverse impact on our student enrollment at this time. In addition, we're also monitoring very closely any new units that may be coming to Fort Leonard Wood, as that can impact student enrollment in a hurry. So always thinking to the future in terms of facilities, in terms of transportation and buses, and making sure that we're prepared to meet the demands as needed. This next slide is just overall building to building. The increases. East had a slight decline. Freedom had an increase, and also just want to note that we did add 2 additional preschool classes to Freedom this year, which has been mentioned probably 3 times now. Partridge had a slight decrease. Thayer had a slight increase. Wood had an increase, more significant than some of the others. 6th grade center had a slight decrease. The middle school had an increase, and then the high school had an increase. And just a fun fact for the community and for the board, we have some of the largest senior and freshman classes that we've had in quite some time. So both freshman and senior classes are larger than what we've seen. We've added 4 additional transportation routes, and we have 500 more students riding the bus this school year than we have had in previous years. So again, that forward thinking and future planning is critical so that we can continue to meet the demands of our ever-changing enrollment. And with that, I'd be happy to entertain any questions that you may have.
Any questions at this time?
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. At this time, we're moving to our action items. Mrs. Bells.
Administration makes a motion to approve the MSBA policies and procedures as presented, please.
Any questions? Do I have a motion? I'll make that motion. All in favor, show of hands, please. 6. All right, next on our list, please, is job description. Dr. Goforth, I'm so sorry.
Thank you, Mr. President. Administration requests approval of the following job descriptions as presented.
Any questions? Do I have a motion? Mr. Lurcher? All in favor, show of hands. Mrs. Bales?
Thank you, Mr. President. It's that time of year again to renew our annual contribution of $5,000 to maintain the district status as a Tier 2 sponsor for the Sustainable Ozark Partnerships. And for those of you who might not know, SOP works tirelessly to ensure that Fort Leonard Wood is thriving, which is good for our school district and good for our community. And so it's my honor to recommend a motion to approve that contribution.
Any questions for Mrs. Bales at this time? Okay, Ms. Lurcher, second. Okay, Mr. Anderson, all right. Show of hands. All right.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is related to the playground equipment installation thereof and the surfacing, for the rubber surfacing for the playground at Liberty Elementary. This is not on top of the original budget amount. This is already included in the budget. We had $650,000 budgeted for this line item, and we did competitively bid it to make sure we were getting competitive prices on it. So the low bid did come in at $649,298. So administration recommends a motion to accept the bid from Children's Specialties in the amount of $649,298 for Liberty Elementary BP number 4, playground equipment installation and playground surfacing as presented.
All right, do I have a motion at this time? I'll make that motion. All right, second motion, all right. Those in favor, show of hands, please. Renovation project, Mr. Harrison?
Thank you, Mr. President. Administration recommends a motion to waive the irregularity and informality of PKC's business registration with the state of Missouri being lapsed at the time bids were submitted on the basis that its administrative dissolution has since been rescinded and its registration has been reinstated by the state, and to approve the contract with PKC for the district central office renovation project as presented.
At this time, do I have any questions? Entertaining motions?
I'll make that motion.
All right, second. Ms. Ponder, show of hands, please. Thank you.